And then they did it by Lord Skullzor. Gonzo, you're listening?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And then they did it by Lord Skullzor. One day, Rainbow Dash was chilling in the clouds and stuff when all of a sudden she got crashed into. It was Derpy and she had a letter for her or something. So she gave the letter to Dash and said, Pinky told me to give this to you. But Dash wasn't paying attention because Derpy is all sexy and stuff. So Dash was like, hey retard, wanna do it? Then Derpy blushed and then they did it. So
And
Rainbow
then
Dash
they did it.
so Rainbow Dash set out to see Pinky. She was flying that shit when she heard a voice say, hey dweeb, I bet she thought you'd never see me again. It was Gilda who was still PMSing over the party where she looked like a spastic child on account of all the pranks. Dash was all like, oh hi Gilda, sorry about making you look like a butt fucking retard in front of Ponyville. And then Gilda said, speaking of butt fucking, and then Gilda put a strap on. Dash smiled and said, I'm gonna fuck you so hard you'll turn into KFC. And then they did it. So after Dash had buck fucked the secret herbs and spices out of Gilda, she left to finally go see Pinky. Dash arrived at the house of Pinkie Pie with the letter she'd received and knocked on the door. Hey, Gatard, I have the letter you sent me. She yelled through the door. Pinkie Pie opened the door and looked at Dash. Dash looked at the pink sexy spaz in front of her and asked, why did you want me here, fucktard? Pinkie smiled and gestured for Dash to enter the house. Dash groaned and walked in. Pinkie hugged Dash and smiled. I'm so glad you're here because I need your help with something. Dash rolled her eyes and was like, what do you want my help with now? The smiling pink Coke Fiend, yes, Coke Fiend, bounced up and down and yelled, I need you to help decorate my mule, make it look all super fantabulous and pretty. Rainbow Dash faced Hoof and grumbled, alright, but if I help you, alright, I'll help if you'll stop asking me to do stupid shit with you. Pinkie Pie smiled, cross my hope and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. She stated like a freshly lobotomized wacko. So Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie went up to Pinkie's room. I bet you didn't see that coming. And Dash helped Pinky add lots of gay shit over her wall. She couldn't help but notice Pinky's ass waggling back and forth, and this gave Dash a wing boner. Pinky saw that Dash had a wing boner and blushed. Dash, are you thinking of dirty things again? Pinky smile asked. Dash was all like, you bet you're waggling pink ass, I am. Pinky was like, I was thinking the dirty things too. Then she smiled. Dash smiled back, and then Pinky gasped and ran into her wardrobe. Hey Dash, do you remember that outfit I wore in Appaloosa? Pinky asked in the wardrobe. Are you kidding? Dash exclaimed. I clocked to that shit nightly. Dash said with a grin. Then out of fucking nowhere, Pinky appeared and she was totally wearing that whore outfit from that one time in Appaloosa. And then they did it. Twice! The next day, Rainbow Dash found out she was pregnant with Pinkie Pie's baby, so they got married and shit. Then, 9 months later, Dash gave birth to a little baby girl Pegasus, and they named it Shia LaBeouf. The end!
And then they all did it.
What?
What the hell?
I'm not done yet. No, I'm not done yet. No, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Because because if I read that one, I need to read, and then they did it part two. Bloomberg
Oh,
Boogaloo.
oh
Oh my
yeah.
Part
Two.
2?
Yes.
Yes, they have a part 2.
So,
How many parts are there?
and then they
Two.
did it part two. Bloomberg Boogaloo by Lord Skelzor.
Lord Skeletor.
Now, excuse me while I take my breath. It was a cold day at Sweet Apple Acres, and Applejack was in the barn filling the plow when there was a knock at the barn door. Wait for it. It was her brother Big Mac, and here we go. And she had come to check on her sister. You're right in here, sis? Is there anything I can do to help with? Applejack turned to her big brother Big Mac and said, Nah, not thank you. Just finished up. Applejack Applejack's brother, Big Mac, looked at the ground and kicked the dirt half-heartedly. Big Mac, who was Applejack's brother, looked up and said, So, do you want me to fuck the Wincest? Do you want me to Wincest the fuck out of you? And then they did it. A few weeks later, Applejack was called to Appaloosa to deliver her prized apple tree, Bloomberg, to her cousin Brayburn. Settling in the long train ride to Appaloosa, she decided to check in on a prized tree, which she had raised from a sapling. So she made her way discreetly to the car at the back of the train. She immediately ran up to Bloomberg and embraced him. Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree, and she spoke softly to him. Bloomberg, I can't believe I had to give you up. If it wasn't for my cousin Brayburn needing you so much, I would have kept you. Suddenly there was a clack as the door behind her shut. It was Rarity, and she looked confused as fuck. Are you talking to a tree? She stammered. Applejack panicked like a deer caught in the flames as if it was set alight by a drunk. No, I wasn't talking to Bloomberg in his bed. Honest. She managed to slur out while Rarity gave her an even more confused look. Rarity started complaining. Why is there why did the tree get a bed and not I? Why did the tree get a bed with you in it and not I? Fuck. Applejack panicked. If she didn't do something quickly, Rarity would complain for hours, and she might start questioning why she always wore a hat, even when indoors. So she blurted out, Rarity, would you like a bed with me in it right now? Rarity shot Applejack a dirty look, and then they did it. Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. It was a few days after Applejack and her friends had arrived in Bluefalusa, and after a massive time was... And
Hold on, what? Hold on. You cut out for a bit, and I was trying to figure out what you said.
Okay. I'll go backwards. Rarity, would you like the bed with me in it right now? Rarity shot Applejack a dirty look, and then they did it. Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. It was a few days after Applejack and her friends arrived in Appaloosa, and after a massive time-wasting jugfuck with all the local tribal barbarous skull-fucking natives, Applejack and her friends were relaxing in Appaloosa. Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. Applejack was in her room, and at the end, daydreaming of bark when her cousin Brayburn knocked at the door. Cousin, are you busy? He asked. Not really, Applejack said as Brayburn entered the room. Cousin, it's been a long time since I've seen you, and I was wondering if you could see a way to show me some of that old Apple family affection, Applejack asked. Applejack gave him a fused look because she's stupid like that. Anyway, she realized she didn't understand and went on to verify. Will you fuck me sideways, cousin? He asked in an excited tone. Let me state that again. Will you fuck me sideways? Applejack sighed and stood up. Why didn't you say it to me, you fucking fool? No, I'm just kidding. She said in a scolding tone. She said in a scolding tone, and then they did it. Now Applejack was like, oh yes, Bloomberg, God, yes. Brayburn, stop. Bloomberg! He gasped with his mouth agape. Applejack was embarrassed, so she ran off. Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. Applejack was walking in the orchard deep in thought. Why can't I enjoy fucking my family like a normal filly? Why do I want to bang a tree so bad? She kept questioning herself. She got mad at herself and finally made her choice. Fuck this, she yelled. I'm gonna go to my one true love and take him. She shouted in defiance. Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. It was the next day, and the ponies in the orchard, Bloomberg was up to his usual tree shit, like collecting sun and growing leaves and shit, when Applejack showed up out of fucking nowhere. Applejack had dressed up all sexy for Bloomberg because she wanted to do him, but Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. Applejack looked at Bloomberg all sexy and stuff and said, Bloomberg, I've known you since you were a sapling, and I've always loved you. Applejack walked up to Bloomberg, and then they did it, and Bloomberg did care because he was a fucking tree.
Holy shit, dude.
So Applejack and Bloomberg...
way too much emotion into this.
So
my emotion into things too.
You know what? You know what? Rewind. Applejack had dressed up all sexy like for Bloomberg because she wanted to do him, but Bloomberg didn't care because he was a tree. Applejack looked at Bloomberg all sexy like and said, Bloomberg, I've known you since you was a sapling, and I've always loved you. Applejack walked up to Bloomberg, and then they did it, and... Wait for it. Bloomberg did care because he was a fucking tree. So Applejack and Bloomberg eloped to Spain or some other shithole country, and Applejack gave birth to her own little orchard. Applejack and Bloomberg lived out their lives happily. Applejack's family and friends, however, did not comprehend what the fuck had happened, and all they agreed to was best that they pretend that something much less embarrassing happened, like to Applejack, like death by explosive diarrhea or something. The end.
Damn. Fuck, I
My
did
mind
not
was
get a
blown.
word you just said.
Wait, what?
My mind was blown.
Fuck, I should have recorded that.
You should have.
He
No,
had
actually, it is.
hello.
Live stream?
Procaster always records and also keeps a spare file of it on his computer. You should ask for him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I'll even put it up.
Oh my god. What are you gonna put up?
Hell, all the fanfics we read in this blasted thing.
You know, how long has this call been going? 6 hours.
Yep, surprisingly.
And Jen Minion has still not boarded the train.
Beep, beep.
Too bad Mean isn't here.
Yeah, oh